I've shot hundreds of film rolls by now. Kodak, Fujifilm, Fomapan, Ilford, Cinestill, to name a few. Brand new films, films from the 1960s, colour, black and white, negative and positive. It started getting repetitive. So I turned my attention to the cameras themselves. Leica, Yashica, Fuji, 35mm, medium format, Super 8. Canon, Polaroid, Kodak. After a while, I gathered too many cameras, so I decided to start selling a few. This turned very quickly into a small camera reselling business, where my girlfriend and I would search for great cameras that had been forgotten over time, that we could clean up and give a new life to. Lots of interesting cameras came into my hands from this, but I was always interested with the history behind these cameras. You get to know them quite well after a while, so you start to ask yourself, who bought them originally? What for? Leisure or business? When and for how much? How many rolls of films were shot through them? What happened to the owners? Why did these cameras get abandoned? And furthermore, what were the owners like? And on one January evening, I managed to find out. Inside an old rolly cord that we bought offline to resell, I found a loosely finished roll of 120 film. A roll of Kodak Verichrome pan. Dropping this roll off at the lab was a strange experience. I was on one hand excited to see the pictures and the stories that they would show, but I was also awkward as I felt that I was entering, without permission, someone else's memories, someone else's past. I dropped it off anyway. There's obviously some damage to this film. It is well over 50 years old after all, and I was surprised to get any images at all, but lo and behold, I got some beautiful black and white negatives. Finding out any information I could about these photos was next. Looking at this boy's top here, you can see the logo for the Derby County football team, so I gathered this family's from Derby, which would place them in the middle of England, but these pictures were obviously not taken there. Looking at these boats here, you can see PZ, which helped me narrow it down to the small town of Penzance in Cornwall. But after comparing some pictures of the Penzance harbour and the pictures that were on this roll, they didn't line up, they didn't match. So I hopped on the Google Maps to do some further research, and I quickly narrowed it down to a small village just outside of Penzance, and well, comparing the image that I got from the camera with this picture from Google Image, it's a perfect match. Look at the small dent in the trees and the houses match. So I knew where we were. Only thing missing was, when were these pictures taken? This was a bit harder to find out. There were no obvious clues like cars. I just had to base it off the people's fashion, and it's quite an eclectic mix in this picture. I'm gonna guess, based on when the film came out and on the basic fashion that most people are wearing, that this picture was taken between 1950 and 1965. I could be way off, of course. Now, I'm probably never gonna find out who these people are. I'm maybe not gonna be able to send them the photos, but that doesn't really matter. I think it's extremely important to preserve old photos like this and to relive that rainy day somewhere on the south coast of England many, many years ago.